Welcome back on my E36 M57 compact. I'm going to try sort out my running issue. If you've watched previous episodes on this, I've always had a bit of a running issue. Under full load it breaks up, puffs out lots of black smoke, and then takes a few revs to get back to normal again. It's a bit annoying. I just drive through it normally, but I'd like to sort it out. I've changed loads trying to sort it, sensors, turbo, even swapped this engine originally, looms, everything like that. The only thing I haven't changed is the fuel system. One of my mates, Renars, he said he thinks it's an issue with the return of the fuel system, and he says if I just delete the return system from the E36, so like the cooler and like the pressure relief valve and stuff like that, and just run a straight line back to the return, he thinks that'll sort the issue. He said he's had the same issue in the past. So this is the only thing I haven't changed on this car, basically, is the return, the fuel system that came straight off the E46, went straight on this. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do this morning. I've got a couple of hours spare. It's Saturday morning, so yeah, a couple of hours spare, get that done and see if it fixes my issue. If it does fix my issue, I can move on with this car, because kind of at a stalemate where I didn't really want to do anything with it. And I didn't want to book any drift days or anything like that, especially when it's running like this. As I said, it's more than drivable, it's just drifting it can be a little bit of a pain. So yeah, let me have a look at it. I might have to take the inlet manifold off. I'm not sure, that's an easy job anyway if I do. So yeah, let's have a quick look. Yeah, okay, so the return line, I said I'm pretty sure the return goes through this cooler, and then there's like a valve down here as well. So I'll probably need to remove the expansion tank out my way just to get access to the pipes and stuff like that. As I said, potentially take off this inlet manifold. That doesn't take too long anyway if I need to. Might be easiest just to get access, because it's hard to access the back of the high pressure pump, and I need to access that to put the return line on. So yeah, let me whip the inlet manifold off, get that off first. So pretty straightforward, 12 10 mils and 7 11 mils. That's all that holds the manifold down. There's a 10 mil or an 8 mil holding the dipstick to the manifold. Jubilee clamp holding your boost pipe to your EGR. If you've never taken it off before, there might be a solenoid clipped underneath for your engine mounts or for your EGR. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty straightforward, lift straight off. Right, so currently this is the way the fuel system is. This is like a return back to the pump. So I'm going to get rid of all of this and then just go straight across to the pipe for the feed. And then I'll sort out, as I said, there's like return valves up here as well, so I'll sort them out as well. 3 fuel lines, so I'm only going to bring it down to 2. Simplify it, see if it works. This feed here, this is the only one I need to keep. So the one that goes into this side of the filter, so that's the one I was just at underneath where I took away the pump. Then this one that comes out of this side of the filter, which is to feed the pump, that's the one that has a bit of return on, I think. So I need to take this one off and just run a pipe straight from here to the back of the pump, and that'll delete that one side. And then I'll sort this out in a minute, but yeah, let me have a quick look at this. I think that's what I need to do there. Yeah, so okay, like I was thinking, so as I said, I need to keep this one. That's fine, that comes from my tank, from the pump in my tank. This one then, just get rid of that altogether. Straight from here to the back of this high pressure diesel pump. And then the return, then I have this leak off pipe, and I just need to have this connected, keep this connected to the return. This is the diesel leak off pipe from the injectors. Keep that on the return, and straight from the return all the way back. So let me move some stuff out of the way so I can get all of that done, get a bit more room, and I can tidy this up as well. So right, so this is the line I'm talking about. This one goes directly onto that end there was connecting directly onto the high pressure pump. I said it comes around now and it T-pieces back. And I said it went back into the return system, so I need to get the rest of it off now. This one, this is the return from the pump. Connects onto a valve down there that kind of pushes onto a valve, so I just disconnected that. I'll take this little clamp off, focus this little clamp off, get rid of this piece. And then I need to take this one off as well, down here where this leak off pipe goes down, because there's a T-piece on that, so I'm going to need a T-piece to join this to the leak off pipe, and then the leak off pipe T-piece back to the return. So Right, so that's the valve thing I was on about. The return goes to that valve, clips on one of them, and then another return Jubilee clips on the other side. But yeah, so taking off this diesel cooler. Somebody else told me I needed to run this, but as I said, right now says he runs without it and it works, so let's see. This is the return then, right back to the tank. This one is the return, this one here, like the T-piece, if you can focus, the T-piece here from the leak-off injectors, that was the return that went back to the other side of the pump. So I just need to get this T-piece off down here, join it on then, the T-piece in between this one from the back of the pump onto this, and then a pipe from here to the pump, and that should be it. And as I said, the in-tank pump should be enough to start the car. Yeah, let's see. So this is all the extra E36 stuff that I'm meant to be able to get rid of. As I said, this is underneath the car, this is where the pump was. Like that's the return side to the pump, and then that one, the other one is the feed. Comes up here, then and that one there, that's the one that comes off the top of the filter. And then this one down here, that's the one that goes to the pump. As I said, this is the T-piece I need. This T-piece here is what I need now for the injectors, and I'll put that under return. So let me get all that sorted. Yeah, so get these lines on now, all Jubilee clipped up, try tidy them up better than they were before because they were an absolute mess. There's also diesel everywhere now as well, so clean all of that at the same time. Yeah, let me get the lines on in a tidier place and I'll give it a clean. We can get a manifold back on and see if it'll run like this. Right, so this is the T-piece I'm talking about that I need for the injectors, for the injector leak-off pipe. So this now is going to go onto my return, wherever my return is going down there. This is going to attach to the return, and that side then will attach to the back of the pump. Let me get some Jubilee clamps on it. Right, so yeah, so this pipe on here, this then from the back of the pump connects to that side, and then as I said, the leak-off pipe will go back onto this T-piece. Just need to spin it round now. Right, so as I said, got rid of the fuel pump under here. So the inline diesel pump from the E36. So I've just bridged that with a piece of rubber fuel hose. And then I don't have two return pipes then, so I basically just got, this is the one return. That's just a breather from the tank, but one return, and then the feed. And so they basically go up to the filter and to the back of the pump. I'll show you on the top. Right, so this is all done. I've tidied up all these pipes as well, so there's a lot less pipe work than what was there before. So basically now it's just a feed straight from the tank all the way up to this side of the fuel filter, and then from this side of the fuel filter then straight to the back of the high pressure pump on the engine. And then I've got a return then from the high pressure pump basically all the way back to the tank, and the only thing that connects to that is this T-piece here, which is the leak-off pipe from the injectors. Obviously that comes off the injector rail. So yeah, gonna just make sure it starts like this and see what it's like. Yeah, so as I said, this has got no inline fuel pump. All of the E36 pipework is basically taken off it. Where are my keys? Yeah, so there's nothing really left now off the E46. It's just basically a normal system, E36 in-tank fuel pump. And just the return with a T-piece on it. So fans are on. Let's have a look. Yeah, so it starts up no problem. And revs, it's always a good sign. I'm just going to check it for leaks and that, just to make sure nothing is leaking, anything that I've done. So yeah, so it runs like that anyway, no problem. Yeah, so nothing seems to be leaking. Just got a few little bits to tidy up on it, and then hopefully it's done. Yeah, so not sure how much I filmed on all of that. I had people here, so I was talking to them at the same time. But yeah, basically just removed all of the fuel system from the E46, so like the second return line back to the pump. No inline pump under the car any longer. I've just gone straight from the pump in the tank all the way up to the fuel filter, and then from the fuel filter to the high pressure pump on the engine. And then the same with the return, but just with a T-piece with the diesel leak off pipe going back onto the return. Starts up mint straight away, no problem. If anything, seems to crank and start up instantly. A bit faster than what I did before, so I'm going to drive it home now and see what it's like. If it has fixed my issue, I will update the video at the end. If this is the end of the video, just means everything is still the same and that wasn't the issue. But yeah, either way, at least that's that fuel system simplified, as in all of the mess that was underneath the inlet manifold. That's all gone now. It's a lot tidier, plus I had 2 fuel leaks and I fixed them as well. So yeah, all is not lost. But yeah, so if it isn't the end, I will see you in a minute. If not, see you next time. It didn't work. I drove home yesterday and I had a really soft limiter and a lot lower down than normal, and all my top end power is gone. So yeah, something needs to be sorted. So I spoke to Renars. He said potentially the pump in the tank isn't good enough, so I need a higher pressure pump. I do have one here, so I'm going to have a look at fitting that. I'm also going to plug it in now just to see what fuel pressure I'm getting, just to see if that coincides with what we're thinking. So yeah, I'm going to plug it in first, see what codes are getting, and then I'm going to get a pump sorted. So I just removed this out with an N47, 2 litre diesel. Just going to double check that it works. If it does, then I'll take the pump part out of the housing and fit it into an E36 housing. And then fingers crossed, that'll cure the issues I'm having. Okay, so this is the pump out of the diesel. It's going to check it works first, but yeah, that's the pump out of the diesel. And then this is the E36 housing. That looks very big. Whether I can get it in there or not, I'm not sure. I have to try. Okay, so this is what holds the actual pump. So E36 pump, and that's what holds it. I need to get this into that, mainly for the bottom piece, so it's going to sit in the tank in the correct position. Doesn't matter how high this sits up, plenty of room on that. But yeah, so I need to get that into that. It's too big, so let's slice it, put it in. 2 Jubilee clamps around it. That should be good. And I just need to wire the plug in. This end of the pump then is a push fit, so I'll push fit that on. And then the actual pipe then on this actual E36 pump, I'll heat this up now, take it off, and then do the same with it on that side, and I'll be able to join them together. So yeah, let me get this all modified and come back to you. Yeah, I can't film everything because I wasn't expecting to film anything this morning. I was just going to come over and quickly do this, but while I'm here I thought I'd film it, but I haven't got any more chargers or anything, so I'll film as much as I can without using all my batteries. This is the E36 pump with an N47 diesel, an E36 housing with an N47 2 litre diesel pump fitted into the housing. So I checked it, the pump works. It doesn't mean it's pumping at the correct pressure, but it pumps. So I'll stick it in the tank. I'll plug in the computer now just to show you what the fuel pressure is before I put this in, and then we'll stick this in and see if it changes. So there's no pump on at all now at the moment, so it's just showing 1 bar because the in-tank pump has primed itself. Yeah, so I've got 3.5 bar there. Yeah, so as you can see, that was dropping off to 2.5. Hopefully the camera was on it. Yeah, I was dropping off to like 2.5 with a rev. So let me swap it round and see what we've got then. Footage might be a bit unsteady at the moment because I haven't got my gimbal. But yeah, that's staying on 4.3 bar with a rev. It never done that before, so it always dropped, no matter what. So yeah, let me drop it back off the ramp, take it for a quick drive and see what it's like. I'll charge my gimbal as well while I'm doing that. I put loads of sealant on the top of this fuel filter because it was fuel was squirting out of the top of it in about 3 or 4 little tiny pinholes. It wasn't doing that before. Obviously now, because it's got the right pressure, it was. So yeah, I want the sealant to dry so I can get it back on. I'm not sure if this is even going to hold. It might do, it might not. There's lots of sealant on it. It's been drying in the sun for about an hour or two now, so still sticky as anything. Fuel filter is back on. All the top of that's covered in sealant. Not sure if it's even going to hold. It's a Sunday, so I can't get another one, and I need to drive it home. So yeah, I'll turn the key on and let's have a look, see if it squirts out. Yeah, so if I turn the key on, is that squirting out? Yes, it is. Straight out, look at that. Just a pinhole. Fuck. I've cleaned all the sealant off. Right in the centre there. See? Right here. That's where I seen the first one leak from. But then all around it, there's another one there. Yeah. But we just checked, it's actually steel, so, and another one over there, I think it's where the cap is put on from factory, and that's failed, so. I'm going to see if I can weld it. Try. Where I thought the holes were, I've welded up them. I'm going to start it now and see. Well, not start it, I'll just turn the key on, I can tell. Right, so, get back on the engine. Right, so where's that from? Ah. Straight out from the welds. Okay, so I had to weld that up loads and loads, and it's still weeping a tiny bit, so I'll just get a new one tomorrow. But it's only weeping when the ignition is on. When the car is running, it seems to be a lot better, so I'll be able to drive it home like that. Yeah, but it's staying at 4.3 bar. Yeah, so it was the fuel pump yesterday that was causing me the issues. So the E36 pump, as I said, it was only reading like 3.5 bar, and then under a rev, it was dropping to 2.5, 2.6. So that was nowhere near enough. So that was obviously my limiter issue yesterday on the way home and on the way over this morning. N47 pump in the tank now, 4.3 bar consistently. That seems a lot better. I've never had 4.3 bar before, even with the old setup and the inline pump, the E46 inline pump under the car. We only ever had 3.9, and on a rev it would drop to 3.5, 3.6. So 4.3 at the moment, and it doesn't drop. I think I've seen it drop to 4.2 once, but when I was smashing it off the limiter. I'll drive it home, see what it's like. Fingers crossed that's it all sorted. If not, I'll let you know in the next episode.